So, Frzy, in 2018, you won a regional Emmy Award for your hip-hop rendition of Won't You Be My Neighbor?
I'm the third rapper in history to win an Emmy. Myself, Childish Gambino, and Common. If you don't listen to the radio and you don't hear me on the radio, you'll see me on TV. If you're not listening on TV, you'll see me on a milk carton in your grocery store.
All right. We're going to get to all of that in just a moment. But first, I want you to know how grateful I am for today's podcast sponsor, my friends at FitAF Nutrition. They are Eastern Pennsylvania's leading meal prep company. FitAF offers meals of multiple sizes for people with various health goals. And you know what I love about this company? They use high-quality ingredients like grass-fed meats, wild fish, and locally harvested produce. And all right, for you parents on the go, they even offer family meals. Go to fitafnutrition.com,
Place your order by Thursday at midnight.
and get fresh, prepared meals delivered right to your door on Sunday.
Use code Leckey20 at checkout to get 20% off your first order of 7 meals or more.
Here we go, buddy.
It's the Ryan Leckey Show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ryan Leckey Show. I have been waiting for this guest for many weeks, not on his bad, but mine, just coordinating our schedules. I'm super excited today to have on the show somebody I met, I want to say several months ago, and I'll back into that story, but this dude is going to blow up. He's an Emmy-Award Winning rapper. Emmy-Award Winning rapper Frzy from Pittsburgh. What is going on?
What's going on, man? Good to be in the building and in the lobby. I love it.
I love it. Listen, I'm so grateful you're taking the time to chat because, you know, I have been following you since you and I met, and you are so involved in the city of Pittsburgh. You're doing so many different really cool campaigns, charity work, inspiring kids. We're going to unpack it all because, as I mentioned, I met you back at America 250 PA in Philadelphia for an event. This was many months ago. And right away when I met you, I'm like, this is my kindred spirit. Like this.
Yeah, we clicked instantly, dog. Yeah. Instantly.
I was like, this guy gets it because, you know, it was so cool. You were a part of that really big event with, you know, current and past governors and everybody, like politicians from all
congressmen,
over.
senators.
Yes.
It was huge. Right?
And the best part was like you bringing down the house in this giant museum where you had governors up there bopping, trying to rap with you. I love it. And I was like, I got to talk to this guy.
There was some Congress booty shaking going on, for sure. Absolutely.
So I want to back into your story, though, because I said, I feel like I want to get Frzy before he goes global, right? Like you're doing such great things. First of all, you grew up in Pittsburgh, but I want to back into your story.
Ooh.
Like, how did you get started in the world of music and your passion for it and rapping?
Man, that's a great question, man. I always say it was accidentally on purpose. Right. And getting to a place where music wasn't my first love. At first, I was a big basketball player. My dad played ball. So for me, it was, you know, I wanted to go to the NBA. You know, I'm in the backyard practicing, listening to the Space Jam soundtrack. You know?
That was my jam. And, everybody get up. Yep, I got it.
It's time to stand and listen, you about to have that whole karaoke this whole show. But it was great, man. You know, and I used to like freestyle rap with my friends, and you know, we used to joke around and do stuff like that at the lunchroom table with the quarters. You know, you make the beat, right? So they signed me up for this program, being funny, like because it was like an audition. The YMCA was doing a whole national mixtape to raise money. And they were looking for artists from different metropolitan cities. And they did a contest. And my friends signed me up just like as a joke to kind of embarrass me.
Was this your senior year of high school?
It's my senior year of high school.
All right. Go ahead.
So when they bring me up there, at that point, I didn't even have a rap name. I wasn't, you know. So they're like, what are you going to do? What's your rap name? And I was like, freestyle, right? Because I knew how to freestyle. And then they asked me, what are you performing? Because everybody there had work prepared, instruments, everything. And I just said I was going to freestyle. I just freestyled about the judges because I didn't have anything prepared. I didn't have any beats or music. And I ended up winning the contest. And I got a chance to work with an amazing producer named John Gore, who at the time was a producer for Christina Aguilera, who's also from Pittsburgh. Yeah. And from there, they really just guided me, and I got a demo deal with Sony, and the rest is history, man. And I really took it seriously. And I was playing ball. I was going to do also some intelligence work. And my father was just like, listen, we don't do plan Bs. So pick one and be great at it. We're not going to just like jump back and forth. And I leaned into music, and, you know, luckily that worked out.
I love that. And it's clearly working out for you. And we'll get to the whole I want to find out how you won the Emmy and what was that for.
Yeah,
But tell me about the name Frzy. Where did this come from?
Yeah, man. It was, it's so funny. I'm a big fan of the rapper Swiss Beats because originally my rap name was Freestyle when I was first starting. And when I got my first record deal, they were like, listen, as much as that's a unique name, it also is very difficult to market because there's so many things that have the word freestyle in them, right? From the Olympics to dancing, to golf, all these different things. So they were just like, when your Google Analytics are going to be terrible because it's going to be so hard to find you sometimes. And I was like, okay, well, my AKA at the time, I was saying Frizzy because I was such a big fan of Swiss Beats. And on his songs, he used to go Swizzy all the time. So I was like, oh, the nickname is going to become Frizzy. I'm going to spell it different. Spell it F-R-Z-Y, no I. And they were like, we love it. We love it. You think it's unique? Let's go with that. And, we went with Frizzy. And now it's on an Emmy and a world record.
I love that. So, Frizzy, growing up in Pittsburgh, how did that influence you into the music scene and really sort of the music culture that you're in?
Well, what's really cool about Pittsburgh is it's a blue collar, it's a hard work city. It's known for that. We weren't really big musically. I mean, we have legends here, obviously. Gene Kelly and Strayhorn, and all these things. Mary Lou. But growing up here, I didn't really have a lot of that. So it was important to me to add to that, bring that to the culture, bring that to the city, but also keep those roots of the hardworking and being someone that's dedicated and loyal to the city and pride, that Pittsburgh pride. And that's why I wear it on everything. I got it on today.
I love it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
you got the Pirates outfit on. You bleed black and gold. Big Steelers fan.
Big Steelers fan. I mean, I think when you live here, you have to be. You know what I mean? There's no, like, either you're here or they send me out to where
they're like, you need to leave. Trust me, my mom, I have a huge love of Pittsburgh in my heart. I have a lot of friends who live there now. I grew up in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, only about an hour and a half from Pittsburgh. But my mom lived in Pittsburgh for 15 years. I know that's the home of UPMC. She worked at UPMC. Love Pittsburgh, the Strip District, everything. But I really, like you said, you're taking that culture and that upbringing in Pittsburgh, right, and bringing it to your work, right? Because people in Pittsburgh, right, man, hardworking folks and so friendly too. That's what I love about Pittsburgh.
Very much, man. We love welcoming new people in here. We love good energy. We love people that want to be a part of the culture. You know what I mean? So it really helps us out big time.
So, Frizzy, in 2018, you won a regional Emmy Award for your hip hop rendition of Won't You Be My Neighbor? So I want to know, how did this collaboration come about and what significance does this award and this song hold for you?
Well, Pittsburgh is the city of Mr. Rogers. Yeah. And everyone in the world knows Mr. Rogers, but growing up here, it hit a little different. It hit a little more personal because he was literally our neighbor. My aunt, Melinda, was actually on Mr. Rogers when I was, growing up. So it really has a big place in my heart. And I've grown and created this really amazing relationship with PBS and WQED, which is their sister company here in the city. And this is where they film Mr. Rogers. The Mr. Rogers studio is here in Pittsburgh at WQED Studio A. And I did some different things with them, throughout the years as I was building my career, building my name. And at this point, I'm a celebrity, and I was actually in Boston speaking at Harvard Law, which is really cool. And they reached out to me. They were like, hey, we're doing a 30-year anniversary for Mr. Rogers. I think it was 50-year anniversary for Mr. Rogers. And we're having a lot of people that are celebrities from Pittsburgh, perform Won't You Be My Neighbor. It was myself, Michael Keaton, a lot of big names from Pittsburgh, Terry Bradshaw, Dan Marino. And they were like, they asked me, I was like, listen, I can't sing. Okay. I'm in the shower, I'm Usher and Michael Jackson, but outside, can't sing. I was like, could I get permission from Mr. Rogers' wife and the Fred Rogers Foundation to do a rap remix? They said yes. They let us do it. We shot it. It was amazing. Came on TV, aired great. We did like a music video version, and they were like, listen, we're working on a movie with Tom Hanks. We really want to put this thing out, and we really think it can get some traction. And it broke some rating records in TV in Vegas, and they wanted to put it up for the Emmy. And it won. I'm the third rapper in history to win an Emmy. Myself, Childish Gambino, and Common are the only two.
That is incredible. Now, really quick, if people didn't hear that rendition before, can you give me a little taste of it?
Absolutely. It's really cool because amazing producer named Darren Grant. He's one of my close friends. They gave us the original copy of Mr. Rogers, and then he chopped it up and moved it around a little bit. So I was able to take some of the stuff that people know and love and kind of put the hip hop feel in it. So it's really fun. I think the first couple verses the first couple of lines are like, hey, it's a beautiful day. So let's take some time to celebrate this day. From the good weather to your old red sweater. For 50 great years, nobody can do it better. Shoot, the celebration should go like this. I'll be there because the Charlie's something I won't miss. And friend, permission to speak freely, as long as my delivery is better than Mick Feely, right?
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Yeah,
man. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet Mr. McFeely. I got to perform it in the Thanksgiving parade. It was huge, man. It was a really, really huge moment for my career. And it really, though I was making a name for myself and my career was growing big, it really was a rocket ship to national and international fame.
Now, did it make the movie with Tom Hanks?
It played a part in it. It almost made the credits, but then they were making it as a period. The movie's a period piece, so that song was a little too modern of a song. We were involved with the advertising, and it was perfect timing because they were just starting to tease the movie coming out when I won the Emmy. So it was really cool right before going into the pandemic.
That's amazing, but I think that's a huge moment for you. Another big moment happened to you as we welcomed in 2025, right? So on New Year's Eve, 2024 on New Year's Eve, you had such an amazing opportunity to perform in front of 22,000 people in Pittsburgh. Yeah. What was that event and what did that mean to you?
Man, it was, Pittsburgh does a thing called First Night, which actually every city did it with CBS. It was a big thing with the cultural trust of CBS. But now Pittsburgh's actually the last city that does an official First Night where we do the countdown with CBS with the ball. And we have the fireworks. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge event. It happens every year. And then they try to bring out a different celebrity every year to celebrate it, very much like New York, Times Square. And the city comes out. But also, depending on who the celebrity is, it gets a little bigger and bigger as it goes. I got a chance to do it. I got asked to do it actually in 2020 during the Emmy hype. And, I just got done winning the world record. It was a whole thing. And then, the pandemic happened and it shut us down. So I had to end up doing it on TV with them, which was still amazing. It was almost 500,000 people viewed, but it was I just did one song and it was on TV. It was not, we couldn't touch it. So being asked to come back, the cultural trust trusted me to come back. Was amazing. And I mean, we rocked it. It was a whole concert. It was insane. The crowd was beautiful. It rained, but it made it more epic. And I mean, the rain didn't stop people. They came out, like I said, 22,000, and it was a Frizzy concert. It was a free Frizzy concert to bring it in, and we really rocked it out. And it was great for me too because the year prior, the end of 2023, I did the show with the Symphony at Hines Hall. So we had, coming from that to like, what can we do bigger in the city? What's something that we can bring out bigger? And we did that, and it was just great to be able to bring in the city. And bring in the new year in the city that I was born and raised in with the people that helped make me who I am today.
Yeah, and I love that. But how did you even prepare for an event like that? Because as you mentioned, you performed with, was it the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra before?
Yeah, it was Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra before. So for this event, I mean, because it was a Frizzy concert, I mean, it was an 80-minute set. So I'm doing close to 20-something songs in that set. So, I mean, we were rehearsing for months. I brought out a lot of amazing special guests, some amazing Pittsburgh artists that are, starting to break through the national scene. I brought them out as special guests to kind of give them some love and introduce them to the city in that type of crowd and that type of space. But I mean, we were rehearsing. I had my band up there, the faculty, who was an amazing tour band. They're killing it. They're doing their own thing and killing it. I had DJ Solo Dolo, who's a huge national DJ as well. So we really just brought the city out. And Cultural Trust provided us with a huge Highmark. Highmark was the sponsor, so we had a huge Highmark stage with Citizens Bank and PNC and Visit PA, which does a lot with Philly as well. Mm-hmm. We're a big sponsor. So they really showed us a lot of love. We had, like I said, fireworks, lights, smoke. It was a Frizzy concert.
I mean, when I saw the video, it looked insane. It looked like the making of an amazing, ginormous music video in Pittsburgh. And I was so pumped for you. I remember messaging you on Instagram. I'm like, you are gonna crush it. And I saw the
you did.
I saw the interviews on KDKA you were doing, and I'm following you, and I'm like, I gotta talk to this guy because I was like, soon enough, hopefully, I'm not gonna be able to get a hold of Frizzy. I'm gonna have to go through like 5 different publicists, right? And
look, listen, I got you on speed dial because your resume is ridiculous as well. So that's why I was like, look, when my boy R hit me, I'm like, I got you in the phone as RL and a God. So
okay. Okay,
yeah,
I
so,
appreciate
yeah.
that. But
You
no,
know what I mean? So when RL hit me, I'm like, look, I ain't talking about Stein. We ain't talking about Goosebumps. You know what I mean? Like, look, bro, I need that.
no, that means a lot. I was going to ask you now because this is something I wanted to get to, and you touched on it. Just when you think like the Emmy Award is, you're one of 3 rappers, as you mentioned, to win an Emmy Award for your song, for the rendition of "Won't You Be My Neighbor." Then you perform in front of 22,000 people on Pittsburgh's, welcoming in of 2025. But this world record you have, I think just when I'm like, gosh, this guy has done it. Then this world record you have, what is that for?
Man, so that's
With
for the
Guinness.
longest.
Yeah,
it's Guinness. Guinness locked and loaded, man. The only person in the world for the longest freestyle rap ever, which is 31 hours straight. I think somebody in Britain just like beat it. I think somebody in London just attempted it. I don't know if it's through yet, but yeah, 31 hours straight. Crazy.
And where and how did you do that?
Well, after I won the Emmy, the city of Pittsburgh named a holiday after me. They gave me Frizzy Day.
I heard of Frizzy Day. Yeah,
Frizzy Day is a big thing, and it's every January 11th. It'll be every year even after I pass. After I'm gone, it'll be every year. And so what I try to do is every year I'm going to celebrate myself, but also give back to charity, which is a big thing with me. And I was like, you know what? Like let's do, instead of just doing like a rap marathon, let's actually put this in the books. And it was something special because I was the first human being in the world to ever rap that long, talk that long, let alone rap that long. So as you mentioned, UPMC came out, they did some tests on me. They were there monitoring me the whole time because they were like, look, Frizz, this is amazing, but like at the end of this, you could never talk again. Like, there's a chance that you're done rapping after this. But it was worth it. And just, I'm known for being a genius with the freestyle, and that really just allowed me to flex that muscle, but also have a lot of fun with it. Mentally, it was a big mental thing. But then, towards the end, it got physical because I could only go to break, bathroom. Guinness had very, very strict rules. I could only stop rapping for 5 seconds, or the record was done. I got like a 5-minute bathroom break every 7 hours. If I was back 1 second late, I would lose it. So you got to think about not only controlling that, but then even what I'm sipping, what I'm drinking, I can't really eat because I got, you got to chew, and that takes longer than 5 seconds. So it was a lot. And I had an amazing team with me that really helped us do it. And we did it live in the mall, one of our biggest malls out here in Robinson, in Ross Township. It's our huge mall. They kept it open 24 hours. So people were just coming, and by the end of it, there were thousands of people watching me break the record.
And be honest, how did you feel the next day or so? Did you lose your voice?
Here's what's crazy. I didn't lose my voice. I thought I was going to, because originally when it was done, I was fine. And I was like, why am I'm so surprised I'm fine. But it was the adrenaline still. And then, because it was a world record, the press wanted to interview me all day from Dubai to London. It was Good Morning Britain. It was huge. And they wanted it the next day. And we were like, I might not have a voice, but it wasn't my voice that went away. It was my jaw. My jaw actually got really swollen. I had the American Dad jaw when I woke up. And and I couldn't really talk, but that's how they wanted me on TV. They wanted me like swollen, you know what I mean? Look like 50 Cent after the accident, Kanye West after the accident.
I can't with you. I love it.
To the wire.
And I wanna come back to something you mentioned, like Frizzy Day. I know WTAE, Channel 4 Action News in Pittsburgh. I saw this story they did on Frizzy Day, and you mentioned about how do you celebrate Frizzy Day and give back. And I see you're so involved in the youth and inspiring them, supporting them, and also partnering with organization like Turner's Dairy to give back to nonprofits like the Pittsburgh Food Pantry and stuff. Tell me about Frizzy Day in 2025. What was that like for you?
So it's great. It's still going on all month too. So I teamed up. Turner's is one of the biggest dairy companies in the United States. They're based here out of Pittsburgh. And growing up, us 80s. I'm 85, so 80s, 90s kid, big into the Got Milk ads. Mm-hmm. And I was always wanted to do that myself. And they're not doing those anymore. So there's a new campaign that's happening called Milking It. And I talked to Turner's about it, and we teamed up with them, Pittsburgh Public Schools, which is all the schools in the tri-state area, and along with the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank and Passage Studios, where we shot and filmed everything. And it was we not only made posters, but brought up milk nutrition, how milk is good for you, the things that it does, a lot of fun facts that people don't know, but also raising money to give to the food bank. And Turner's is matching it with $5,000. And now I'm going to, not only are those posters done, they're on Instagram and everything, but also they're in all of the Pittsburgh public schools as well, in the cafeterias, all amongst the schools. And it really just allows the kids to really bring that got milk era back, but also we're raising money. And Turner's is matching 5,000. So our goal is 5,000. So we'll come up to about 10,000, a little over $10,000 to give to the food bank. And we learned that every 5,000 is 1,500 meals for childhood hunger. So we're hoping to, be able to give 3,000 meals within a month to childhood hunger. And that's what it's all about. Sort of celebrating me. The posters look cool. They got me drinking milk. I drank every different type of milk you could drink. Spilled it, got it thrown in my face, all that good stuff. And but it's all for the kids. So it's really exciting. So I got to go to Dilworth Elementary, which is the school that I grew up in. And one of my first grade teachers came. It was just, I got emotional. And just to see how excited the kids were to see me, from seeing me on TV to seeing me in person, it was amazing. And I'm right back in there tomorrow. I'm going to another school, so I'll be hitting schools all month as I start to get ready for the Grammys.
And I would tell, we're going to touch on that, but I would have to say, I would tell people, because I watched that video, you should Google Frzy Day WTAE to see the video clips, because to see the kids high-fiving you, to see the kids bopping with you because you did a little performance for them, it was awesome.
Did a little performance.
Yeah, but I think you went in and you really, show the youth and people, right? Like, look, if this is your goal and your dream, you got to go after it. I think that was so cool to see those kids' faces light up and meet Frzy in person.
And it was cool too to tell them, everybody always says, I want you to walk in my footsteps. And this is like it, like legit walking my footsteps, right? I walked those hallways of that school. And I had to tell the kids, like, if you're going to make it from anywhere, because they're going to tell you can't make it. They're going to tell you come from a place that isn't conditioned for you. I'm like, if you need any evidence that you can make it here, it's me. Not only in the city, but in this school, in this building. The same hallways y'all running down is the same hallways that I ran down. So it was great to see them, how hyped they were, and hopefully left believing in themselves a little more than they did when they woke up that morning.
All right, you dropped the word Grammys. What's going on with that?
So, yeah, man, I am... I am on the board of the Philadelphia chapter of the Recording Academy. I'll be out there this year for the Grammys. It's going to be amazing, a lot of amazing events with the Grammys, but getting things going and really celebrating the Recording Academy and the people's accomplishments, hopefully bringing a Grammy home myself soon. So it's been a lot of fun being involved with that, and being, I'm a co-chair of membership now and working with Grammy U, which is an amazing program that brings different youth out that have an opportunity to win a Grammy or want to be within the industry. And we mentor them as well. So, just having my back with the Recording Academy is great. And my song Golden is on the Recording Academy's mix, Apple Music mix, along with Justin Bieber and Selena Carpenter, all these people. So it's been great to have the support of the Academy, but also to be a part of the Academy too. So as a musician, the Grammys are the Grammys. Like, I got an Emmy. I love this Emmy so much, but I need that Grammy. I already got a place on the shelf waiting for it. So I'm just gotta have an Emmy, Grammy. Then I'll go for that. Then I'll go for the Oscar next. So I'm gonna bring you in for the Tony.
Oh, so, okay. I love that. Now, I was gonna ask you though, do you look back now, hearing the people you're stacked up against on that, the Grammy playlist you mentioned, right? Bieber, etc. Do you ever look back and you're like, oh my gosh, obviously it was hard work, but do you ever look back and be like, I never thought it would look like this?
You know what? It is, man. It's one of those things where I'm very blessed to not have imposter syndrome. I know that that's a thing that happens a lot. And so I know that I worked for my goals. I have a whole thing where I call it hunting my goals, right? Where I plan out how I'm gonna get here, what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do it, and making sure that I am the version of myself that can achieve this accomplishment. I think that's one thing that people forget, is that they just want it, so they just go get it, but they might not be that version of themselves yet that deserves it or that's ready for that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be a person that just got lungs yesterday and try to hold my breath underwater. I got to learn how the lungs work first, right? Mm-hmm. So I think during the journey that I've gone through, all the no's and being in this space, it is surreal, because it then makes me think, man, what did they go through too to get here on this list? What's my competition? What kind of no's did they hear? And my goal is always not only to win, but to inspire the people that lose.
Wow. I love that. That's I might steal that, by the way. You'll see me talking on Instagram stories and be like, I'll say that same quote and you'll be like, wait a minute, did he swipe
I'm like
that?
this. I'm like, RL. Yes.
You'll be texting me. So let's talk about like your debut album, right? God King Slave was your first album. Your latest work is Popularity versus Success. Where do you draw inspiration from these albums? Are there themes you try to put into each one?
Man, that's a great question. Oh, that's a great question. For God King Slave, especially being my debut album, because I've been making a lot of music and releasing mixtapes, and that was my first, real studio album, distributed by a label. And for me, it was God King Slave was a saying that was said to me by one of my international friends who's from Sweden. And I read this thing. It was a bottle of wine actually, and it said, "Rule like a king, work like a slave." Right? God King Slave. So it was create like a god, rule like a king, work like a slave. And when I heard that, it hit me hard. And I realized, especially coming from my culture, especially my African American roots, slavery, all that stuff like that, I was like, you know what? I wanted the cover is really important to me. And I put a crown on it and I turned backwards. And I realized that crown, that one thing changes perspective so much that without the crown on, if you look at my back full of whips and blood marks and scabs, it looks like I was a slave and you feel sorry for me. Right. And you're just like, oh, it's hard to look at. You got to look away. It looks painful. But if I put that crown on and I'm in the same pose from behind, then you see those whips and those scars and that blood, right? And those and all that. You look at me with pride. You go, that is a warrior king. That is a king that cares about his people. That is a king that's on the front lines for his people. And that was something that really resonated with me. And I was like, that's the story I want to tell. I want to tell that story. I want to tell what it takes, right, for a slave to become a king. And especially in the form of building generational wealth right now for my family and creating that. So that was big for me. And when it comes to Popularity versus Success, it was a dual album that, to me, especially in the era of social media, in the era of TikTok, I know it probably affects you as well, is seeing these people skip development, who feel like because they have a lot of views or a lot of numbers that it makes them important or it makes them talented. And it was the really say to this generation, please understand the difference between popularity and success, and what's popular and what makes you feel like you're relevant to as quick as it's not. And I think, to be honest with you, especially the timing that we're talking right now, the fact that TikTok might go away is like a thing that's going to happen. You see how many of these TikTokers who have millions of followers who are panicking right now because they know that once this platform goes away, they will cease to exist, right? Their popularity goes away like that. And that, to me, is if anyone needed any type of evidence that taking the time to build a foundation and taking the time to build a career and to build your brand and to make people be able to see you everywhere. That was my goal. If you don't listen to the radio and you don't hear me on the radio, you'll see me on TV. If you're not listening on TV, you'll see me on a milk cart in your grocery store. If you don't like milk, but you like to travel, I'm in the airports.
I know. I saw that in Pittsburgh International. I was like, that's my boy. You're like my brother from another mother.
There it is, right? So making sure that my brand and who I am, and even when I signed my deal with Steve Madden on a billboard in Times Square. So it's important for people to understand that the popularity success thing is a real thing. And I think I watched the study that said they asked 80% of kids what they want to be when they grow up, and their answer was famous.
Yeah, famous. We also do workshops, my team does for, YouTube training. Everybody wants to be a YouTube star, right? But I think people don't realize, like, you got to put in the work, right?
You have to put in
and
the
I
work.
think that's the one thing, because I think even when I started my television career, right? I mean, even for 22 years, people are like, oh, your gig looks so great. And it was a great job. But I was going to bed at 6 o'clock at night for 22 years. I was getting up at 2 a.m. or midnight, right? To be able to put in the work. And I think that sometimes, I think you hit the nail on the head. People don't see the grind, they just see the success. And people want to pass by the grind, No,
right. No one wants to leave footprints anymore. And that's the terrible thing, right? The journey is the most important part. I want to walk it. How you going to walk in somebody else's shoes if they're taking the fast track?
Yeah.
I can't. It's in a bit of it selfish. And like, even when meeting you, and I know that your listeners listen to you every single week, they see you on TV. You think about it. Yes, I was the big headliner performer, but you were the host of America 250. You were the face on all the ads that was hosting the birthday of Pennsylvania. Like, let's just take that into they were like, you know what I mean? And to me, it's all about the conversations you never hear. So that means that Congress and the Senate and the people who work behind the scenes and in Washington, they're sitting in this room deciding, how are we going to celebrate a state? Right? And they go, you know who should do that? Ryan.
Yeah, and a shout out
Ryan,
a shout out to Cassandra Coleman, who's the executive director of America 250 PA.
Yeah, shout out to Cassandra.
Who got you on board. Cassandra called me, and when she called me to do this, I was like, I'm in. And when I got there, I think, initially you think about it, but you don't know the magnitude of the event and the movers and shakers who were there. And I just remember at the end when you literally kind of closed out everything, you're on this stage performing, governors, politicians from all over are bopping around, you're leading us out of this giant museum, fireworks are going off, and I was like, did this weekend just happen? Was this real? And then the whole time you're on stage, and I'm like, that's my new friend. That's my new friend.
Man, and that's what it's all about, building that. But you are a prime example of like you said, they didn't see you going to sleep at 6 o'clock, right? They didn't see that. They just knew that they were guaranteed to get that level of professionalism from you every morning. And that was something that is why you are who you are now, why you have the respect that you have, why you have the credentials that you have. So it's like, I'm ready to go do, New Year's Eve next year in New York, and you'll probably be the host.
Who knows? Well, if they need one, sign me up. I'll be like, Frzy, what time?
Listen, you already know. First call. Yeah. I'm not doing it unless RL is there.
Let's talk, by the way, just before we wrap. Where is Frzy heading? What are your goals? What do you want to do? What's next?
Yeah. I have a lot of big announcements coming that I'm really excited about. A lot of announcements that not only change the perspective and the floor of my career, but also celebrate my childhood. And I'm really excited to do that. With my name now being national and international, I'm having a lot of opportunities to tour. We did a big thing with the symphony, so a symphony tour is coming, which is going to be really huge for me. And also, I'm releasing a new album in the first quarter. I won't say when because it's supposed to be a surprise, but I will be releasing some new music, which some of it we premiered at the New Year's show as well. So I'm really excited for that's coming in. Some big endorsement deals as well. I'm happy that these companies like how I look, so they're really taking how I take care of myself, but also the popularity, the fame, the success that I have all in one kind of coming. So I hope people are ready. Just, the goal is to be everywhere. I don't want to give your eyes an option. And that's where I'm at.
Another quote. Love that. I love that. Two other things I wanted to just mention for people who want to hear more about God King Slave, popularity versus success. What music platforms are you streaming on that they could go type in Frzy?
I am on every single platform. Anywhere you listen to music, from Spotify to Apple Music to Tidal to Pandora radio stations. I also have a hit radio show right now with Odyssey that is also on your radio on 100.7 or on the Odyssey app all around the world. And that's every night at 7 o'clock. That's a celebrity show I do with them. So they can hear me anywhere. I mean, any place that you can hit a play button. You type in FRZY and you will get the greatest hits. So,
and I know you mentioned you have some big announcements coming up. So the easiest way to follow you on social media, give everybody your handles.
Is at Frzy, FRZY on everything.
I love that. I'm going to let you go, but I think the one thing you mentioned, you said there were some endorsements and people who liked how you look. The one thing else I want to give you credit for and mention this, how important is you staying dialed into your fitness and your health? How has that helped you with your success?
Oh, tremendously, right? Because we are in the pursuit, and I always tell people this, on the road to success, you have to be conditioned, right? Because it's not always going to be in a car. You're not always going to fly. Sometimes you got to walk, sometimes you got to run, and you need to be conditioned for that. And I take my body seriously because this is my weapon. From my tongue to my lips to my lungs. You don't do a 80-minute Frzy concert on TV for 22,000 people live unless you're conditioned, unless your body is ready for that, especially in December when it's cold, So I try to make sure that I'm healthy and that I am prepared for anything that comes to me because I am a warrior, and this is a fight. So it's like, I try to take care of what I eat, and I pay attention. The only time I'm hungry is when I'm chasing my career. So I'm very I'm very conscious of that, and I just want to be around for as long as possible. And I want to be able to smell my roses when I get them. And in order to accomplish that, I got to stay fit. Plus, it does help that, I get to drink milk and get milk endorsements because of it. So.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody look so swole and jacked drinking milk as Frzy. So look,
I was trying to make the eye contact with you so you can see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a huge fan of yours ever since I met you in Philadelphia many months ago. I'm glad we keep in touch on the gram. And I feel like I'm going to end this podcast by saying I feel like I'm really grateful I grabbed you for this so I can say I knew him when, because I think for you, my friend, you're just getting started. And I really think the world is your runway.
Thank you so much, man. Well, hey, be ready for the Vogue, baby. I'm here with it. They don't even see me out here. Thank you so much. I love you to death. Thank you for having me on, man. It really means a lot, and to have your support, especially with who you are, what you've accomplished in your career. You're a telescope, man, and I know you know a star when you see it. So thank you.
The one and only Frzy, everybody.
Here we go, buddy.